I'm Don Boudin from SampleLibraryReview.com, and I'm very excited. It's going to be doing a deep dive and checking out all 4 of the palette libraries by new developer Red Room Audio. It's a bold move for brand new developer Red Room Audio to release not 1, but 4 orchestral sample libraries in one go. Big showcase piece here is the Symphonic Sketchpad, and this library contains all the ensembles of the orchestra, woodwinds, brass, strings, as well as choir, percussion, piano, harp, and an additional instrument of trailer tools. Developer have also released palette line brush packs. Brush pack 1 is Melodics. This is the legato instruments. Brush pack 2 is orchestral effects. And brush pack 3 is runs and ARPS. Now, before we go any further, I want you to stop. There's a link in the description below. The first link there take you straight over to Snaps, Claps, Slaps, Stomps, and Shouts, a free library recorded by 24-piece mixed choir, and it just sounds fantastic. Use the link there, grab it for free. I'm going to keep talking in the background while you grab it. I'm really loving the sound of these strings here. And I've got it loaded up with just the Decca mics. There's close, Decca, and Hall, and I'll play with those so you can hear them. Here's the close. And that's a sustain. And with the spiccato. And let me go ahead and mute my mic. And then with just the Hall mic loaded up. And I'll make my mic kick. And so what I've kind of done is found a nice blending between the close, the Hall, and the Decca. And something like this, I believe, is what I had. I'll have to play around with it. Muting again. So the other thing you could see here is that this is the big boy interface, and so many developers have put these big interfaces out, and to be honest, it's just too much screen real estate taken up. But the thing that the developer's done here is created this little collapse functionality. So you just click a couple buttons, and it frees up that extra chunk. It is a pretty graphic, which is nice, but it's just great to be able to close it up. Oop, hit the wrong button. Close it up and get it out of the way if you don't want to take up all that real estate. So that's the strings NKI. The next NKI is the chamber strings. Let me play a little bit of that for you to hear. And I'll start with the Decca. It's got a nice immediate sound to it, and I almost like to pull just the close mics up of this one, and I'll play that for you. In addition to using this setup here. No need to. Here we go. The other thing that you might have seen is all of this library has dynamic expression, vibrato, and tremolo. Unfortunately, something I just upgraded stopped my handy sliders from working. So right now I've only got control of this, but I'll control it with my mouse just because I want you to hear what this tremolo offers and the vibrato, of course. I really like how tremolo is treated as a fader rather than a articulation, so you don't have to just jump to it. You have the option to just tremolo. So that's nice. The other thing I almost always measure, I didn't play the staccato, but we'll get to that. We'll do that one now. I'll play the staccato, then we'll listen to the pizzicatos and the trills. So we started with the spiccato, which is a lot harsher. Nice attack, a bite to it. The staccato's nice, it's warm. And then we've got the pizzicato. That's a nice sound. Normally you can get away with a good pizzicato, even in a not so great string library. So I don't really judge too much on it, but I do think it's nice. It's got a lot of depth in the low end. And plenty of pluck in the high end. Next is the trill. So you got a half tone and whole tone. Simple enough. So I'm just going to play a track that utilizes all of the palettes now, just so you can hear how they sound, because I've really enjoyed working with them. And then I'm going to go back through all of what the Symphonic Sketchpad has to offer. Now that's using all four of the palette libraries just a little bit. There's only one run of the string runs. There's only two orchestral effects kind of in the undertone. And then the rest of it is utilizing the legato instruments as well as the Symphonic Sketchpad. So just wanted to share that with you so you could see how they sound in context using them all together. I love how they all fit in the same room and they've got a nice balance to them. So let's go ahead and we'll start to look at the other instruments in Symphonic Sketchpad. Go now to the woodwinds. nice, warm sound. The balance I like. And again, you got expression, dynamics, and vibrato. So let's go ahead and. And that adds just a little bit of depth to it. The only thing I've found that I'm not a big fan of is the marcato lengths on all of the libraries. It's a set length, so that's what you get. But luckily, the way that this instrument's been built, you actually could just use the sustain with a staccato to get more bite, but you could hold it as long as you want. Yeah. Again, there's a tenuto on this. I think I completely skipped that. And the staccato. And staccatissimo. And the trill. And I'm just listening with the Decca. I'll go ahead and go to the staccatissimo with the close mic. So it still has a little bit of a rigging in there, but it's not completely dead. And that Decca has a nice sound to it, and the Hall added. Just a little bit longer of a decay there on the tail. The brass. This brass patch set up the same way as everything else, which is great because I kind of already know my way around. And you can hear my keyboard because I'm pounding really hard, but I'm going to mute it because I really like the bite that this sample set has in the staccattissimos and to a lesser extent in the staccatos. Nice, bold splat in the high end. And again, that's with the Decca. If we pull up the close, we're going to get even more separation in the stereo field from what I remember. Because that's right on the stage. And I really love having this little bit of control to add even more spread through the stereo signal. Trumpet player splatted a little off there. We've got the marcato tenutos. And the trills. And that's great. And the only thing I want to do is go ahead and load up the chamber brass so that I can hear just how much more bite I can get out of those staccatessimos. And I gotta get it on the same channel. Let's just go Omni on both. Okay. And I'll mute my mic here. Now, the one thing I'm going to have to say about this is this low brass, it doesn't have a lot of low growl. So that I would be layering with another patch from Palette, which we'll get to later on in the video. The one thing, as I've been working with this library, which I'll play a little bit of this track in just a second, is you'll see that it's a dry enough output that you're able to use your close, maybe one of the Decas or Halls, and just use your own reverbs. And I'm a big fan of third-party premium reverb plugins, so I will use those, and I have been using those, and I'll pull those up in a minute. For percussion, you've got some of the usual suspects. And that's a Deca mic. That's a nice sound, but I'll see what this close and Hall sound like. These toms have a nice bite to them. I like the snares, 2 snare options, and then the cymbals. Really like this roll feature. Kind of shape and mold your roll there. You're able to control different effects for each of those instruments as well. And I think it switches a handy graphic there. So that's that main percussion. Timpani set up so that it's got and then a rolls section. Oh, maybe it's And I didn't read the manual on this part, so I don't know what the difference between this first section and second section are, but I'll have to take a look and read that. Moving along, let's listen to two bells, which I have a feeling these will be as expected. And that'll probably sound nice in a mix, but might want a little more bite, especially if I'm doing a trailer track. So maybe I can get more bite in that close mic. Yeah, and that does it. Just a little bit more in that close mic. And everything in the entire palettes line, I believe everything is set up with close deck and a hall, and it's all recorded in the same hall. I really love being able to have a little more control with just the 3 mics. It's not so many that it's confusing, but it's just enough for more control. And again, you really hear that the stereo come through when you listen to those mics. Glockenspiel. Actually, I haven't pulled this one up at all. And then the piano, which actually is really nicely done. It's got a difference between a dark tone and a bright tone here at the top. I'll just play it as it loads up. I'm going to mute my mic for this one. Not the world's best piano player, as you guys know, but let's take a listen. Then you could change this tone. Let's go to a dark tone. Let's go for a little more intimate sound. We'll pull back this. I want to load this all up. Here we go. Let's check it out. And then the same kind of thing with a brighter tone. So pretty nice piano overall. And you got this pedal noise. Let's see. That always adds a little bit of realism to a part. That's fun. All of these instruments, I haven't even discussed the effects because, I mean, these are orchestral instruments, so rarely am I going to go to using an effect unless I specifically want to make an effect. This harp instrument, it's got 2 different modes. Pedal mode, which will let you actually set your tuning just like a real pedal. You can control your keys. Or the normal setting. You've also got some controls for bright and dark. There's a glissando mode, which is great because you just play your bottom note and your top note, and it'll play that, which is really handy when you want to set up your scale in your pedal area. And you got speed, bisbigliando. And it's just the Decca. Let's listen to the close mic. So this might not be the very best harp, but it does sound nice once you utilize it, I think. So you get that speed control. Let's move along to the choir. Okay, this I have very little experience, so I'm going to mute and just play it and listen to it. Looks like we got Oz sustains with men and women. That's the O's, and O staccato would right here. And then humming. Humming is always nice. And now, trailer tools. Completely unexpected when I first heard about this. There's almost 300, I believe, different trailer tools in here. Bottom is tuning, I believe. So just a really nice set of trailer tools, lots of hits, impacts, risers, that kind of thing. And then you got some synths. And this is basic synthesis with some mixtures. You got 2-layered system. So a lot of times I might just pull up the old sine wave so that I can have a little bit of extra low end. Yeah, it's there. But a pretty wide range of just handy to have a synth in there. So that's the Sketchpad. So that's just one of the 4 of the palette libraries. I'm going to go through them all, but I'm going to break this up into a couple different videos because this is going to be long and I want it to be indexed so people can check out the different libraries individually. The next one is going to be the Melodics. That's the legato instruments. And then we'll go on to Brush Pack 3 and 4. Thanks for checking out the video. In full transparency, Sample Library Review is a partner of Red Room Audio, although we have not been paid for our consultation. If you purchase through our links, it'll help support Sample Library Review with a small commission. That helps us directly pay all the contributors, all the people that are writing reviews and keeping the website going. So yeah, be sure to use the link and grab that free Snaps Claps. You're going to want to grab that library right away. That'll be the first link. Second link, I'll include the Sample Library Review page for Palette so you can just see everything that we think, or my thoughts, I should say, as well as the other videos I created about the library.